Leave ChatGPT. Well, that's what a lot of people are saying. And I'm not so alarmed, but it did cause me to take some steps. And if you use any AI platform, I suggest you do the same. You see, I spent a couple of hours this week doing something I should have done a long time ago. I backed up every single prompt I've built inside ChatGPT. Every custom instruction, every system prompt I've refined over months, actually years of work. And because I've got some pretty amazing and useful prompts that I use every day for my business, and I'm not taking any chances at losing them. So I pulled them all out of ChatGPT, examined them, updated them, and started turning them into skills inside Claude. Why, you may ask? Well, it's because your prompts are your intellectual property. They represent hours of testing and refining. And if they only live inside one platform, you're one system outage, one political uprising, or bad decision away from having to start with nothing. And by nothing, I mean no history, no AI memory, and virtually using those AI team members you've built. You may have heard there's a lot of growing talk or a wave of people leaving ChatGPT right now for political reasons. And I'm not one of them, at least not yet. But what I am doing is building a second home in Claude while I keep using ChatGPT because both platforms have advantages that the other one doesn't. But whether you're leaving ChatGPT, thinking about leaving, or have no plans to leave at all, you need to watch this video because I'm going to walk you through the exact process I used this week to back up my prompts and convert them into Claude skills. You see, I'm trying to future-proof all that work I've already done, and it was way easier than I expected because Claude did most of the work, and it gave me a chance to also clean up some prompts that I hadn't touched in months, or as I said, possibly years, since November 2022 when ChatGPT came out. If you've built anything valuable inside ChatGPT, like I have, keep watching. In case we haven't met, I'm A. Lee Judge, founder of Content Monster, where I help companies around the world grow brands through content that connects sales, marketing, and revenue. I also harness the power of AI to accelerate my business and drive results for other businesses. So right now, I'm going to walk you through exactly how I organized, updated, and migrated my AI work so I'm never stuck depending on one tool. So once you go over into one of your custom GPTs, you'll see the name, the description, and your prompt. That's the instructions. Now, you may already have your instructions somewhere else or your prompt saved somewhere else, but we're talking about people who have them saved in ChatGPT. And so in this case, this one also has, this is very important, an additional file attached to the custom GPT because that file is referenced in the instructions. So let's go over to our spreadsheet and talk about how that's set up. In this case, I set up column A to have the prompt name on line 1, or the skill name is what it's going to be in the future. The files that it references, in this case, like the one I showed you where it references my book as a knowledge file, and then the prompt itself. And I did it this way instead of vertically because I want to make sure I have enough space to, as you see, once you fill this thing out, I had 46 columns across, and each column has a description of a prompt. And it's much easier if I want to copy and paste out of one of these columns than it would be if I had them in rows. So to zoom back in, you have the prompt name across the top, your files you reference. In this case, I have right here, for example, reference file, Content Monster, Ideal Customer. That's a PDF that's referenced down here in this prompt, okay? So what you want to do is you want to come in here, copy your name out of here and put it into your prompt name row. You want to copy your description out, put it as the first line of your prompt, and then you want to copy your whole set of instructions, paste that into your prompt window, and then also you want to see if you have any attachments. I actually highlighted this, copied the name, and I put it into this field so that there's any file references I need, they're actually in there. And also, here's a very important part, I actually downloaded that file so that I had the file saved in a place that I could reference and point Claude to say, you have the instructions now. Now you also have the file to reference those instructions. So now you have this file. It could be a Google Sheet. It could be a Excel file, but you have this file and you download that file or CSV, the Excel file or CSV, as an extra backup or to give you a file to give to Claude for examination. Again, having your prompts in a sheet or document like this is important because you should be able to test your prompts and processes on any AI platform, not just the one you started with. And we kind of knew this time would come. I mean, AI platforms change, prices change, features get added and removed, and if your prompts only live inside one tool, then you're at the mercy of that tool. I taught this in my AI course because it matters just that much. If you're in the course, you already know this. If you're not, I'll drop a link below. The course is called AI for Small Businesses, and it teaches you how to use AI in real business operations. It's not about creating funny videos or images. It's about real business operations and how to use AI in that. And it also includes some of the prompts that I have here that I use in my business that I've shared with you to use in your business. So check out the link below. All right, so the next step is if you've been using AI for a while, then you probably have some prompts from 2024, or like me, since November 2022 when this whole thing began. And those prompts are probably doing too much work. For example, I had prompts that included a line begging the AI not to use M dashes. That was necessary back then because every AI tool loved throwing in M dashes into everything. Now that kind of instruction can live in your general preferences, and in Claude you can put it in your user preferences or build it into a writing skill. The prompt itself doesn't need to carry that much weight anymore. So go through your old prompts, strip out the instructions that belong in settings or preferences or the ones that are particular to ChatGPT, and make each prompt focused on the actual task. Let's zoom out for a minute. If you had to switch platforms tomorrow, could you, or would you spend a week trying to remember what you built and how it worked? Make a comment below to let me know where you're at in this journey. If you have your prompts already offline, or if you would be totally demolished if you had to restart from scratch. Here's a very critical tip. If you've been using ChatGPT projects like I have, this step is very important. Some of your best prompts rely on attached reference files to work. A prompt without its reference file is like a recipe without the ingredients. It won't produce the same result. As I mentioned before, go through that custom GPT, find the knowledge area, and download any files you've attached to your custom GPT because those instructions are vital. And then don't forget to add those back to your spreadsheet so that whatever happens, you can go back to that spreadsheet and locate the file that the prompt refers to. Okay, here is where the real magic happens and when you really begin to restructure your world inside Claude versus the one you have built in ChatGPT. Once your prompts are organized in your spreadsheet, here's where it gets interesting. You go over to Claude and you put in this prompt. Analyze the attached spreadsheet and tell me which prompts would be ideal to turn into skills. The reference files are in the same folder for your review. Now, I say folder because I'm looking at Cowork right now, Claude Cowork, and it can look at the spreadsheet in the folder and the reference files in that same folder. If I was in Claude Chat, I would upload those two things, or I would upload the spreadsheet and tell it where to find the other documents as well. Now, I can't run this right now because I've already done it. And I can see, if I go into my skills, I already see all these skills I have built here. And these skills were built because I gave it the spreadsheet that I showed you earlier, and it built them all for me. And now, as I work in Claude, it will automatically call up the skill it needs as I need it. For example, if I say, write a proposal for so-and-so and so, it will hear in the text that I said, write a proposal, and it will go out and find a skill that starts out with proposal writing. If I say, help me write a script for YouTube, it's going to go find my YouTube script skill. If I say, write a blog article in my voice, it's going to say, okay, let me find Lee's voice and help him write a blog article in his voice because I have that skill to do so. If you're not clear on Claude's skills, a skill in Claude is like a reusable prompt template with built-in instructions. It's a level above a regular prompt because it can include formatting rules, reference files, and specific workflows. Once you decide which ones to convert from prompts to skills, tell Claude. Claude can build the skills for you. So here's the big lesson. Your AI work should belong to you, not to any single platform. When you organize your prompts, update them, and document your reference files, switching platforms becomes pretty simple. I'm still learning how to master Claude myself, but I do go beyond chat and use Claude's co-work feature as I build out my skills, plugins, and projects. So subscribe to the channel and stay with me, and we can learn and go deeper with this together. Oh, and before you go, if you're a business owner, be sure to check out the link below to get access to my AI for Small Businesses course, where we go deep into using AI for growing your business and taking care of those time-consuming tasks that every business needs to handle. If you take the course, you can apply the business lessons through ChatGPT or to Claude or any other AI platform. So check it out, and I'll see you in the next video.